History will record the decade ending 2020 as the best ever for an investor to create dynasty wealth. In 1830, the introduction of the steam locomotive created initial dynasty wealth building opportunities for first ever investors. These first ever individual investors were born out of a necessity when banks refused to finance railroads. This necessity to finance the railroads created a nation of new investors who led the transformation of the world economy from agricultural to industrial. These railroads enabled goods and people to be transported with unprecedented safety and efficiency. This new society of pioneer investors who financed the railroads went on to finance major inventions and companies from 1880 to 1980, including AT&T, GE, Ford Motor, Boeing, Intel, and Apple. These companies generated over $1 trillion of dynasty wealth in their lifetime. When Netscape introduced its easy-to-use Navigator browser in 1995, the transformation of the world economy from industrial to digital began. Yahoo's launch of the first web information portal in early 1996 was even more important than Netscape's launch of its browser months earlier. A browser without having information to browse is equivalent to a car not having a road or a train not having a track. Netscape's browser and Yahoo's web information portal resulted in the web user population growing from 16 million in 1995 to over 360 million in 2000. The new companies that emerged to support a growing user base that was larger than the U.S. population provided their shareholders dynasty wealth building opportunities. In just 3 years, Yahoo's share price increased by 205 times from its 1996 IPO to its 1999 high. eBay's share price multiplied by 36 times in the first 12 months after it launched its 1998 IPO. AOL's share price on the first day of 1996 was actually below AOL's 1992 IPO price. By the end of 1999, AOL's share price multiplied by 3,251 times. Simply put, $1,000 worth of AOL shares at the beginning of 1996 appreciated to $3,250,000 at AOL's 1999 high. By 2003, the web base of 677 million users provided the critical mass for the social media industry to emerge. MySpace was founded in the summer of 2003 and Facebook in February of 2004. From 2004 to 2010, Facebook's user base grew to more than 600 million users. Social media companies like LinkedIn, MySpace, and Yelp provided their investors dynasty wealth building opportunities. $500,000 invested by Facebook's first investors in 2004 grew to $1.1 billion by 2010. That's dynasty wealth in just 6 years. Dynasty Wealth Investing has currently identified 4 global hyper-growth demographic segments that could produce more than 1,000 opportunities: crowdfunding, smartphone applications, cannabis infrastructure providers, and scalable IP or intellectual property and products. The passage of the Jobs Act will result in crowdfunding becoming the sequel to the social media industry for new dynasty wealth opportunities. Not only will the social media industry provide the platform for this next wave of economic innovation, but crowdfunding will far surpass the social media movement in terms of popularity and productivity. From 1996 to 1999, the number of web users multiplied by 15 times, from 16 million to 250 million. Crowdfunding's participants are projected to multiply by more than 40 times, from less than 100 million at the start of 2015 to over 4 billion by the end of 2018. The new companies that emerge to provide the products and services to the billions of crowdfunding participants will provide dynasty wealth building opportunities. The providers of smartphone apps to a projected 4 billion smartphone users by 2018 are dynasty wealth building opportunities. Smartphone application companies Uber, Spotify, Airbnb, and Lyft generated dynasty wealth for their investors between 2008 and 2014. According to the Huffington Post, legal marijuana, or cannabis, is the fastest growing industry in the U.S. and grew by 76% in 2014. Cannabis industry revenue is projected to quadruple by 2019 and has the potential to be larger than the U.S. organic food industry. Annual sales of cannabis or marijuana in the U.S. are projected to quadruple from $1.5 billion in 2013 to as much as $6 billion by 2018. In January of 2015, savvy investor Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and the first investor to provide $500,000 of capital for Facebook for a 10% stake, announced that his fund had made an investment into a marijuana company. Dynasty Wealth Investing's mission is to identify at least 400 private and public companies that have the potential to increase by 10 to 100 times in price within 5 years, and to provide ongoing research on all of them to its investor members. History will record the decade ending 2020 as the best ever for an investor to create dynasty wealth.